It's not just who are these people that we want to be in front of and how much budget do I have and how many leads do I have to generate, how many prospects do I have to generate. It's now how can I get in front of machine learning, use it to the best of my abilities, and I think that's going to be more with targeting.
Welcome back to another episode of More Than Marketing. I am your host, Arsha Mirsha. I have with me today the beautiful NASA bound Tyler Carson. Tyler is a senior strategist here at Web Mechanics. He's a subject matter expert as well on paid media, pretty much anything that you can buy media online. If you can place an ad, if you can buy an email newsletter, this guy knows how to do it. He knows the best practices. He does it all day, every day. I think in particular, I would say, your strongest suits are probably Google ads, Facebook, and Bing ads. Yep. You agree?
Yep.
So Tyler Carson's with me today, and we want to talk about machine learning. Big buzzword out there. It's I think it's akin to big data. I think 5 years ago it was like big data. Oh my God, big data.
Yeah. Everyone does it.
Everyone does it. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone does it. People do it without knowing they're doing it, right? Yeah. So, machine learning is kind of that hot. It's a hot topic of today. So why don't you tell me a little bit about machine learning?
Yeah. So machine learning and big data, they go hand in hand. Machine learning, the best way to think about it is the usage of big data in a lot of different aspects. I mean, it affects our day-to-day too.
Yeah.
Big data and machine learning as a consumer.
Yeah, give me an example of that.
Yeah, you're using Spotify. If anyone here uses Spotify, then you're going to know that they'll create customized playlists for you based off of what you've listened to in the past, what your friends are listening to, what they think you're interested in based off demographic data, and probably a whole bunch of stuff we don't even get access to.
Love that.
There's that. I mean, tweaking the SERP or the search engine result page for users that are using Google, tweaking that using machine learning based off of what they think you're going to be most interested in, but also your past trends, things like that.
Your location,
of course,
what they know about you,
local, all of that fun stuff. Right. And then the other one, which is another easy one that kind of internalizes, Amazon.
Yeah.
You purchase something, what's the next thing that you're going to see on your checkout page?
Customers who bought this also bought this.
Yep.
Right.
Trying to go for that upsell.
So trying to upsell you right there on the checkout or on the cart page or on the product page. Yeah. So what they're doing is Amazon is looking at their huge set of data, and they're saying, look, show me all. They're telling the machine to find patterns and then use those patterns in marketing or advertising. Right. So. And by the way, Spotify, great example. I love that because that's how I find new music.
Yeah.
I don't know about,
all the time. Yeah. Discover Weekly, the release radar is always good. And then it gives you like the 6-day playlist. I just tell Google Home, I'm like, hey, Google, play Stromae. Yeah. Right. And then that's a French artist. And so he'll say, okay, here's a radio mix of that. First song will be Stromae, and then the next songs will be these French artists I've never heard of, new songs. They're very similar. I love it. That's how I get new music. It's amazing.
So back to marketing, because we have, advertising marketing. So, you're the paid media SME, Google Ads, paid advertising, digital advertising. How does machine learning kind of relate to that?
Yeah, it definitely affects our day-to-day. So machine learning in marketing is more prevalent than ever. It's going to get more and more ingrained in our day-to-day.
Sure. Every
single day, it's just going to get more and more important. So what we use it for now would be...
Yeah, what do you use it for like today? Like if,
Yeah, targeting. So
targeting.
Who is our ad getting in front of? Right. Targeting also in the sense of when are they going to be able to see our ad, or what is the best time for them to see our ad. Building different criteria or rule sets around certain metrics. So if this, then that statements, but using machine learning to improve those if then that statements.
Okay.
But most importantly, I think one of the coolest ones is definitely building the audiences and bid strategies.
Yeah. Yep. I want to stay on audiences first. Yeah. So targeting. I think one of the coolest things for machine learning, or ways that you can use machine learning today in advertising particularly, is this idea of what Facebook calls a lookalike audience.
Yep.
Right? I think that's super cool. I know we've seen a lot of success with it, and I'm sure people listening to this podcast have, or hopefully will. tell me about Facebook lookalike audiences, how that's machine learning, how that works, so to speak.
So lookalike audiences, they're really powerful. Basically, you can take a subset of an audience, or for instance, a remarketing audience. You can take, like, you might have 100,000 clients. You can then splice up and take the top 10% based on revenue or based on whatever criteria you want to fill. Take that audience, and then you can now extrapolate that to an audience of, say, 3 million people in the U.S.
Okay.
And now you can target this, what is now completely net new prospects that you've never engaged with before. Maybe you've never been to your website, never heard of your brand. You can take that information that you currently already have at your disposal and build a new prospecting audience to get in front of, and hence the name Look-alike. They will use machine learning. Facebook, Google does it as well. They'll create these audiences that are similar to or look alike this one particular audience that you're saying by whatever criteria you're defining, whether they visited my contact us page, but they never filled out my form. Build me an audience that looks like these
looks like them, people. Right? Yeah, that's so cool. So what I'm hearing from Tyler, and I know Tyler has done this in particular. He'll go to a client, he'll say, "Okay, give me the email addresses for your best 100 clients, or give me email addresses for 10,000 of your customers," right? Depending on the client, B2B, B2C size in there. And then we'll take that and we'll upload it to Facebook, and we'll say, hey, Facebook, these are our current customers. We don't want to target them, but what we do want to do is tell you that this is what they look like. You, Facebook, create me a look-alike audience. And Google does this too, right? What does Google call it?
Similar to audience.
Similar to audience. So that's super cool. So you can say, I already have these customers. Don't target them with ads, but find people who look like them. Now, what Facebook and Google are doing is they're using their they're using their big data.
Big data.
Right?
They're using the apex of big data and machine learning.
That's exactly right.
And marketing.
And marketing, it all came together. They're using their big data to find patterns. Say, hey, these people live in this place, or they like these things, or they visit these web pages, or whatever. So now let me find people who are not in this list who also match these patterns and show the ad they're in. Right?
That's absolutely right.
Super cool for finding new.
Extremely powerful.
Extremely powerful. And we've seen the results, so we know how powerful it is. Hopefully someone listening will agree with that, or say, hey, I need to leverage this today. Because it's been a lookalike audience been around. I think recently, I don't know how, 2 years, LinkedIn advertising also added expand my audience, or
little expansion button.
Yeah, a little expansion button. It's just a button.
It's just a button.
Just a little button. Just a button. Machine learning, just a button.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's move on. So there's this idea of the machines are taking over, right? So do you think machine learning is going to take your job away, so to speak?
Replacement, yeah. Get a robot with a NASA shirt.
Yeah.
Just set it in the desk, let it do it.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it has the NASA shirt, we're good, right?
So is machine learning going to take my job?
Yeah,
sure. Probably not.
Right.
So
I agree.
I hope so. So what I think it's going to do is it's going to evolve the type of work that I do.
Okay.
So and right now that's not changing. It's a slow progression, and new people that come in and have similar job titles like mine, or come into the industry fresh out of college, it's going to be a seamless transition for them.
Right.
People that are in this position need to be open to this type of transition and adopt these new techniques and methodologies. And if they are, it's going to be a seamless transition for them too. We are. So I'm not really worried or feel like anything's going to change, but the way it is going to change is what I do in my day-to-day.
Okay.
So right now, if brand new client or brand new campaign, we're building things out, I have to go and backtrack into who is the right type of person, how can I target them on all of these different platforms.
Okay.
I will still do that.
Right.
That still has to be done.
Right.
But I can do it even better in using machine learning and enabling myself and these platforms to use the data and the criteria that I'm setting forth to better the campaign performance.
Right.
So I can still do all of the things I'm currently doing, but now it just gives me another piece of ammo at my disposal.
Another tool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another tool. And, it's funny because we were talking on another episode I was talking to EJ.
Yep.
We were talking about marketing automation, and I remember when marketing automation was kind of coming out and coming forth, and people were like, oh my God, marketing automation, the marketer's job is going to disappear, right? It's like, No, like in fact, quite the opposite. Because it's complicated. It's powerful, yes, but it's also complicated. You have to have a human come up with the strategy, come up with the plan for how we're going to implement this. It's not just, put it on the site, flick a switch, and now, all of a sudden you have ROI. No way, you know. It's actually way,
If only it were that easy.
All right, if only. Then we'd know. Then it'd just be, then we're all consumers and just, that's it, right? But no, and I think that's what you're talking about here is like you still have to give the signals. Is that right?
Yep. So signals, everything that we'll talk about in terms of machine learning, that information that the machines take in, that big data, those are signals. You're sending signals, whether it's conversion data, visit data, session data, any type of data, email uploads, all of those signals all comprise of what data you're going to share with these platforms and how you're going to be able to better your campaigns. The more data, the better, obviously. And they have a lot of data at their disposal that we don't have, and we have data at our disposal that they don't have. So
our job is to give them that data as much as we can, label things properly so that they understand what this data that we're giving them is, and then such that they can then combine, they being the advertising network, in this case, Google or Facebook, Bing or whomever, so they can use that to the data that we label for them to mix it with their data to then find prospects for us and get our ad in front of the right person. This is what do you say?
Right person, right time, at the right price.
At the right price. There you go. Exactly. The right price. So bidding, right? It's like, hey, if I know, I sell more gutters when it's raining. I mean, that's data that, right? Like it's like, Google can use. And so our job is to come up with that strategy and tell the machines how to use it.
Google's got that data. You can run scripts to help with that. There are a number of ways to go about that one very specific example you just mentioned with rain and having a gutter client, making sure that right person, right time, right price, using bid strategy. Smart bid strategies is one that Google's been pushing pretty heavily recently, but they've always tried to show your ad to the right person at the right time as best as they can. Now there's a little bit more power actually back in the advertiser's hands to set parameters around what that means to us. So it's interesting because machine learning has always been something that's been in use. If you've ever done anything in AdWords or Facebook, they've always used it to a degree. Now we actually have a little bit more control over what do we want to constitute as the right type of person. So now we have actually a little bit more power than we did just a year and a half ago.
That's good.
That we do today, which is awesome. Like Google, I think, has started to realize that advertisers know what they're doing, obviously, that they want to give us a little bit more power to say, who is the right person to you, Mr. and Mrs. Advertiser, to get in front of all of these people? Because it's not a cookie cutter thing where it's like, oh, perfect. This is a client that Google can't look at and say, this is the type of industry or the type of company that needs to go after these people. We might be targeting a special type of insurance that's only for a subset of humans on Earth that can actually purchase this. Might be hard to explicitly state those types of people. But if we have a list of people that we can upload, or if we can over time optimize using machine learning towards those types of people, show them more frequently, it's only going to help everybody.
That's how it works. No, that makes a lot of sense. So I guess the future, we talked about it a little bit, but what's like the future of machine learning in paid ads, or in your role? Like, what do you see?
Someone's got to man the ship. So basically for us, it's going to be identifying, in my day-to-day, it's going to be identifying how can we use machine learning to the best degree. What is that? What new things are happening on the machine learning side? Now it's a little bit more of a technological standpoint than it is just a day-to-day marketing standpoint. It's not just who are these people that we want to be in front of, and how much budget do I have, and how many leads do I have to generate, how many prospects do I have to generate, how many sits with a salesperson do I have to generate. It's now, how can I get in front of machine learning, use it to the best of my abilities? And I think that's going to be more with targeting. I think that's going to get even more enhanced, identifying who can we get in front of and to what degree, and splicing and dicing that data up in a bunch of different ways. Talked about smart bid strategies a little bit. I think that is just the first layer of bid strategies that we'll be able to use. So things like maximize conversions, target CPA, being able to let Google, and I'm kind of staying on that Google example of letting Google change your bids. Now, back in the old days, I had to set the bids. I dictated what would I pay for a single click. Letting Google decide what the right clicks are and bid higher or lower based off of that.
We see them doubling your daily ad budget nowadays. You know, they'll stay within your monthly, but they'll double your daily just to learn, because they want to get more data.
Yeah,
you see that all the time.
Yeah, or just to give me a heart attack.
Or that's so true. Yeah, I love that.
And that's one of those learning curves. You have to know. You have to know what to expect when Google's going to make changes like that, or Facebook, or LinkedIn, or Bing, or any platform that we work within.
Yep.
If there's a platform that's not using machine learning right now, they will in the next 5 years. Definitely. And if they're not, then shame on them. They probably won't be around. Other platforms.
You made me laugh. I remember when we have alarms that we set for paid media. And we're kind of looking at different things like, hey, like for instance, is our budget pacing correctly, right? And I remember when Google came out with this, hey, we can. By the way, we're now going to mess with your budget. Yeah. We got alarms like, whoa, your daily budget of $20, but it's spent $40. And we're like, what is happening? Yeah. Everyone freaked out. But then it was like, quickly we realized, oh yeah, this is because they rolled that thing out that we've been talking about for the last 3 months. So that's just what that is. Okay, and we need to reset our scripts and all that.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit harder in the day-to-day, but at the end of the day, as long as it nets a positive.
And that's what it's doing, I think.
Absolutely.
When you tell Google to optimize for conversions, right, what it's doing behind the scenes is using, its pattern recognition, aka machine learning, to find you better prospects or prospects who are ready to buy at that moment, thereby getting you, a higher click-through rate, thereby getting you a higher conversion rate, thereby really ultimately getting you higher ROI.
Yeah, and machine learning can be somewhat scary, but as long as you know what's actually happening on the back end,
that's important.
It's really not this big hairy beast that people kind of make it out to be. But you have to know what you're doing as well.
You have to know how to set it up. You have to understand what it's doing.
Yep.
And when you understand what it's doing, then you can set it up properly, and then you can.
First step is understanding what it does.
Right.
The second step is understanding how to make that even better. And the third step is how to analyze it.
That's right.
And if you can do all three of those things, machine learning is not that scary.
And in fact, it's very valuable.
It's extremely valuable.
Extremely valuable. I mean, I can't think about, if I can't imagine a world without Facebook lookalike audiences, for instance. That would be, that's just so commonplace now for us. And I don't even remember when it wasn't around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It feels like it's always been there.
Like it's always been there.
Platforms have always been using it to a degree, but now we have a little bit more control over it. And I think, they've kind of removed the veil a little bit.
Yeah.
We can kind of see into what's actually happening and know what we're doing.
And we can thereby set it up.
More empowered.
Yeah, more empowered. That's right. Empower the advertiser, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So look, we could talk about this all day. I think for our audience out there, hopefully they take away that machine learning is already in use. It's being used all day, every day. Simple examples such as Spotify and Amazon, where they're suggesting songs or suggesting products to you. It's being used in Google Ads and Facebook to target you at the right time, but also if you are similar to an audience that a brand or business is trying to capture. It's already happening. So your job is to then make sure you're using it in your advertising.
Yep.
Especially if you're high volume, I think.
Oh yeah. Even better.
Even better.
The more data, the better.
The more volume, the more data, the better. So already happening. We can talk about it forever. And I'm going to bring you back because I also want to talk about changes to Google Ads. They keep making all these changes all the time. So we'll do another episode on that. Like DLI and
that's my favorite.
That's your favorite. See, exactly. See, yeah, that's good. So I want to wrap this up, but one last question for you: what's your favorite hot sauce?
Favorite. So depending on how we're defining favorite, Mad Dog 357 is a good one.
No idea.
So that's a good one.
I'm not a hot sauce guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. So. I know you are though.
Anyone who watches the hot ones with Sean Evans from First We Feast, which is a YouTube channel. Shout out to them.
So much content.
You can check them out. Yeah, it's all over there.
Yeah.
But they have good hot sauces too.
Cool.
The First We Feast, the Hot Ones crew.
Okay.
There's a lot of hot sauces. There's a lot of hot sauces.
Yeah,
I go through them all day.
One day these guys, a bunch of guys here and gals, so what am I going to say? They did a shot of a hot sauce, just like the hottest sauce. It was
Mad Dog 357. 357,000 Scoville.
Scoville, yeah.
Scoville units.
Oh my goodness.
So I think a jalapeno. I'll probably
10,000.
I think it's like 10,000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, not 350.
Not even 100,000. Not even 100,000.
Yeah, right.
So it's like way off the charts. Wow. But it's good stuff. It's fun to do.
Yeah, I bet.
Once in a while.
Not every day.
It's not an everyday. It's not an everyday thing.
Good stuff.
Shouldn't be.
All right, so more than just Google Ads. He's a hot sauce extraordinaire as well, if you didn't know.
There you go.
All right, and signing up for NASA also.
Yep.
Where you got the shirt, Space Force. So thank you for listening. Hopefully this was helpful. Please subscribe, and we'll bring Tyler back on to talk about Google Ads next time. Cheers.